I am here with Ron and Marie, and thank you so much for being a part of this series. First question, what have you learned in the last number of months?
Well, I have learned that I really, really miss singing together with other people as a worship experience. And I've always known that I loved that, but I didn't realize just how much I would really miss it. And I've also learned that COVID anxiety makes me cook. And I cook and cook and cook and put things in the freezer. And there is an abundance of food here.
There are worse things. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, I suppose.
Yes, and as far as things I've learned, I'm going to go into some of them when you ask me about what gives me joy.
Okay. All right.
But as far as one of the things I learned that I was hoping might be a little different on a broader scale was with COVID-19, it's like an enemy of everyone in a way equally. All the countries, all the world. I was sort of hoping when this started out that it would be like the shows you watch on TV where there's an alien invasion and everyone comes together and, you know, it doesn't matter what country you're from or whatever. But the thing, like most natural disasters and things like that, it affects the poor more. You know, they just don't have options to isolate somewhere else or go to a different job or stop working completely. And so, I mean, it is unfortunately, and I expected that, but I was hoping different. It's affecting them more, and that we have to keep that in mind.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. So, the second question, what has brought you joy in these last few months?
I guess I'll answer again first. For me, that answer is often and almost always children. It's been great to be with them, and all the younger ones we can really see them becoming better playmates and closer friends since they don't have anyone else to play with, and watching them grow and learn a lot more things during this time, and going on nature walks and things like that. And even though it's challenging to do schoolwork with them, but yet that's also rewarding in its own way. It's fun to see them learn new things and understand stuff, and so that's been mostly my source of joy. And then of course this last week we had a new grandbaby, which is so wonderful. He's wonderful and he's doing great, and everyone's really happy about that. So that's been a super joyful time for us.
Thanks be to God. That's great. And Ron, what brings you joy?
Well, of course, the kids, and we've had them a lot, and that's great. I don't have a lot to add to that. Yeah, I knew I would miss it, but I function best in this world face to face with them. I've never been good with phone calls, computers. Zoom meetings don't work well for me. I knew that to be the case, and I am getting a little better at it, perhaps. But I sure miss that. And we've, you know, found ways around it the best we could. We get to be with family and so forth. So I do miss that, and we do that. The things that I do different during this period of time, because there's more time and you can't do a lot of things, is I've been doing a lot of drives, a lot of hiking. We've been hiking and bicycle riding. I've been going all over the city. And there's a lot more people outside. There's a lot more people walking by the house. There's a lot more people in their yards, working on their yards. They're all friendly. It's really good to see that. It's, I think it will change and people will keep with that to a certain extent, which I think is great. I like going around seeing the signs. We support our healthcare providers and so forth. That's great to see. And just, I've been in Albuquerque almost 40 years, and there's all these places I haven't seen. I go to a lot of parks, they're beautiful. Lots of people are there, as I said, all friendly and so forth. Also, the food has been great for us. Marie's a good cook, and she's been cooking well. And then also Dan Fall lives right behind us. And he's a wonderful chef, but also a particularly good baker. And he has every week been baking cakes and pies and sharing them with the neighbors and sharing the history of that particular item, how it got its name and so forth. That's been wonderful. So these are things that just because of the change in routine have been different and have been a lot of fun.
Wonderful. I see food and kids as a theme. That's great. All right, and finally, do you have any words of encouragement for the people of St. Tammans?
I guess, I mean, the words of encouragement are just we will get through this, and we will get back to being able to do things together and seeing each other. And the thing that keeps me focused on that most days is just being in conversation with God throughout the day. And you know, God's always there for us, but sometimes we don't remember to connect. So that remembering to be in conversation is very helpful for me, and makes me remember that we will get back to being able to do things.
Wonderful.
Well, and I mean, we all feel a little, well, more than a little, you know, we don't know what to do. What can we do? What should we do? What can we do to help this issue? We're not a healthcare provider or something. Obviously, you can help your neighbors, but I think praying is very important. I think prayer can and does make a big difference, praying about your own circumstances, the circumstances of others, but also the issue at large, this whole COVID issue.
Right.
To pray to God about that with a lot of praying, I really believe that will help. And as I mentioned, you know, things are a little different, and priorities for a lot of people are directed away from, in a different manner, from jobs and things like that. And so I think I've seen positive notes on, the one example I'll give is, let's say, Black Lives Matter. I'm not sure it would have been as extensive as it is if we weren't in this time period. So it allows us to focus, us meaning everybody in the country and the world, on things we have time to think about what is important and what have we missed.
And pay attention to that stuff.
And I think that's good.
Thanks be to God. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and thanks be to God for both of you.